to this week's episode of The Savvy Author. I am literary consultant and your host today, Clara Rose. If you haven't been with us before, let me be the first to welcome you. Every week we talk about all of those moving parts, all of those pieces that you need to understand to be a savvy author. And of course, if you've been here before, welcome back, my friend. Today we are going to talk about a piece of the 3 phases of creation, and we do that every single week, so that should not surprise you. Of course, phase 1 is the brainstorm and blueprint, and we are not talking about that today, but those are 3 important pieces that you need to know to be a savvy author: how to analyze, how to brainstorm, and how to blueprint your manuscript. And then, of course, we jump into the create and correct phase, which is getting those words out of your head and onto paper, editing because everybody needs an editor, and of course, formatting, getting it ready to publish. And finally, publish and promote, which is the 3rd phase. That's publishing, understanding your options for publishing, promoting, which is getting the word out there that you even have a book, and selling, your ongoing plan for sales. And of course, today we are going to talk about the selling piece of it, and that is promoting your book. And we have a special guest today. So my special guest today has her brand new book out. It's called Life in the Shadow of Mr. C by Sandra Margaret Smith, and I am super excited to have her with me here today as we celebrate the launch of her brand new book. So welcome, Sandra.
Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure, of course. So we are super excited because, ta-da! Right? It's a super
absolutely.
exciting time when the book is actually in your hot little hand, isn't it?
Yes,
right?
it is.
So it has taken us 5 or 6 months?
And about 2 years of writing it.
Well, right. Because when you came to me, of course, you had already written your book.
Yes.
Where some people come to me with the book idea in the beginning, so they haven't actually written anything. They've, got a concept or an idea, or they have a stack of sticky notes, or right, or whatever their process was when they collected all of that data out of their head, and then they usually come to me with help.
Okay.
Right, but you came to me with a completed manuscript.
Well,
already done.
Not completely.
Okay, so
you helped me wonderfully, and I really appreciate it.
Mostly completed
Yes, it was.
manuscript,
Yes, it was.
right? And then all we had to do was edit and format and some of those things to bring it to life, which still takes time.
Yes, it does.
So tell our audience why you wrote a book.
Well, I became a widow about 25 years ago, and I went to counseling, and she said to write a journal. So I started writing a journal, and I thought about my childhood. I thought about where I came from, how I got to where I am today, of being 53 and being a widow. Who am I? And
Right.
I started writing the book. Then I put it aside for
Sure.
umpteen years.
Of course you did.
You know how
That's
we do.
normal.
And to be honest with you, I went away with a bunch of girls golfing. And you know how women sit around and they talk about their mother, their children, their
Sure.
fathers, or whatever. And I started to talk about my father, who was Mr. C, and my life. And they said, you got to write a book. And I said, I tried to do that about 20 years ago. So I sat down, and 2 years ago, I started writing the book, and here we are.
And you went, okay, there it is.
There it is.
So you didn't have any instruction, any guidance.
nothing.
You just
Nothing.
sat down and wrote.
It was on my bucket list. I'll be 80 in February. And
You look fabulous.
oh, thank you.
I hope I look that good at
but,
80.
I thought it's maybe my children, a legacy for my children
yeah.
to know who their grandmother was, who their great-grandma.
Sure.
And I wanted to go on. And I thought, well, why not write a book?
Yeah.
And that's what came of
Yeah,
it.
and when you do write a book, it's a forever thing, right?
for my
This is
children,
a forever
yeah.
thing.
Especially
Your
for my children.
your
Yeah.
children, your children's children, their children,
Correct.
because it becomes a forever thing.
Right. And my siblings as well. I have 6 siblings, and we're all close. And there were 3 different families, 3 different women, and we're all close. And I think that's a wonderful thing.
That is a wonderful thing.
We are close because of the way we grew up.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's not always the case when you have a bunch of siblings that come from it's the blended family thing.
Right.
Which is a super difficult thing to do.
Right, yeah,
And we
but-
think of it more as a nowadays thing, but in truth,
Back
it's been
then it
going on
wasn't.
for years,
Yeah, back then.
right?
Yeah, I grew up in an Italian family, so it wasn't back then. In those days, you had Sunday dinners. You know how that goes,
Right.
and all the kids sitting around. It wasn't that kind of a growing up for all of us. It was very difficult because my father was quite an entrepreneur, quite a businessman. He was Mr. C.
To the whole town.
To the whole town.
Right. It wasn't
To the
like
whole
he was
town,
Mr.
right.
C just
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, we were
you
Mr.
know.
C's children.
Oh.
But Mr. C was up here.
Yeah. So
And
it was a small town.
Very small
Right, a
town,
small
upstate
town.
New York, and he was very predominant in owning quite a few businesses. And in the 50s, you didn't see that happening to a lot of people. And he owned motels, restaurants, and he was very, very well known.
He was the big cheese in town.
Big cheese in town.
And that's why they called him Mr. C.
That's right.
Right? So because that was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just Mr. C. So then, really, Life in the Shadow, your title really comes from the fact that you weren't Sandra, you were Mr. C's
That's right.
daughter. You're one
Yeah,
of Mr. C's
and
kids.
I don't know about other girls, but I think every girl falls in love with their father. That's her first love, and I idolized him. And I think as I grew up, it was hard to realize he had faults.
Yeah, right.
But, which
Oh,
we
he's
all
not-
we all
he's
have
not
faults. We
perfect.
all
How
have
can that
faults.
be?
Yeah, but you don't realize you put some people on a pedestal, and then you realize, gosh, he doesn't belong there. You
Right.
know what I mean? But that's why I wrote the book too.
So really, the story is about you feeling like you were in the shadow.
Correct.
But
Correct.
it's really more of an overcomer story.
Yes, it is.
right?
Yes.
Because you could have been very introverted and quiet and shy and just stayed in the shadow, right?
Right.
Of course, we know that's not
Yeah,
you.
right. Anybody who knows me, I'm not quiet or shy.
Not quite that person.
No, not at all. But I think what I really want to say to people, we all have stories. Every one of us can write a book. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's about your childhood or your marriage or anything that happens in your life. It's what you do with it.
Right.
You know, and I really believe memories makes the person you are today. And you have to overcome, yes, but you have choices. Do you want to be here or do you want to be here? I really believe my father taught me to be very independent because I had to be at
Right.
the age of 12. He taught me to be a good parent because he was not. I feel I'm a better parent because of him. And I just want to tell people, don't go back. You have to go forward because if you keep going back, you never get to feel good about yourself.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing in life is to really be proud of who you became and who you are.
Right.
Because in the end, you got to be proud of who you are.
Right.
And I am. I'm proud of my family. I've got a wonderful family. And I've had a good life, other than losing my husband at 53.
Right, which
You know.
is a horrible thing. But even through all of that, some really amazing things took place in your life.
Yeah.
It was so fun for me as an editor because I got to hear your story firsthand, kind of.
Oh,
So that's the
thank you.
fun
Thank you.
of being an editor is that you get to really know the person, right? Especially an autobiography, right? Because you get to know how they speak and how they think and the details of their life, and it was super fun for me to go through the process with you. For
Well,
sure.
and believe me, you were wonderful going through the process because it's, you know, when you write a book, you write a chapter, but when you get the book and you read it, it's very emotional. And you say to yourself, wow, you know, I'm okay. And you helped me with that, and I appreciated that very much.
Oh, thank you. It was
much.
a super fun book for me to work on. And most of the time, books are really exciting for me to work on. I enjoy the process. But an autobiography is even more fun in that I get to know the person more in depth. I get to know who they are, like in their innermost being. We spend 6 months is kind of a short time actually to spend on a book, but because Sandra had already written everything, right? All we had to do was the extra pieces where an author comes like from the very beginning. We could spend 9 months, 12 months. I think my longest has been 18 months.
Oh, okay.
And that was based on the author's schedule, right? So you're retired.
I'm retired.
Right? So it was easy for me to be able to, at
Right.
the drop of a hat, get a hold of you and say, hey, I need clarification, or, you know, and we met mostly every week
Right,
on
we did.
Zoom to
We
just
did.
work through the pieces and the
And
process.
very comfortable.
And
Very comfortable.
Easy, super easy to
Super.
do, even though at first you we're kind of nervous about Zoom.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, my age, we didn't have Zoom. I mean, we had telephone. We were lucky we had telephone years ago. But yeah, Zoom. But I've learned a lot.
But
because of
yeah,
that.
look at how you've grown through this process, right? Now you Zoom and all those things.
Yeah, I really believe you got to keep active.
Yeah.
And I live in a wonderful community with a lot of good friends. And just, if I could say anything to anybody, just keep active.
Yeah. Now, the community that you live in is it a senior community, an
Yes, it
active
is.
living community?
Yes, it's Heritage Springs. It's very close to Trinity area, which is close to Tampa. And it's a wonderful place to live. It's like you're in Disney World. I mean, you can be as active as you want to be.
Because there's tons to do.
Because there's tons to do. And I like to play golf, and I'm very active with my church. But I like the social life too as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's super important anyway, especially as we get older and if we don't have a spouse or the kids are grown and gone and you need to stay active and you are. Like the other day when I'm reaching out to her to find out, to ask a question, she's bowling. And I said, oh, wait, I'm at church. Oh, wait, I'm over here. When I get back from such and such, I'll do that for you.
And I get to take care of my grandchildren.
That's
great-grandchildren, I should say great
which
I am so blessed to have. And I'm so blessed that my granddaughter allows me to take care of them at my age. But by the end of the day, though, I'm tired.
You're spent. And it's just one at a time, right?
Yes, just one at a time.
One little person at a time.
One at a time.
And then when you're done, you're done.
I'm done. It's wonderful being a great-grandma or a grandma because you can send them back.
Yes.
You spoil them rotten and then you send them back. So
that has actually been one of the great joys of my life is my grandchildren. I have 10 grandchildren.
Wait till you have your great-grandchildren.
Well, I'm hopeful that's not too soon, although I do have 2 grandchildren that are now 18, that just turned 18.
Yeah, you want another 5 years.
Yeah, so I'm like, go to college, please.
Right.
Get married, please. Some of those
Hopefully in that
old-fashioned
order.
Nana things.
Hopefully in that order.
Yes, get married. Go to college, get married, then have babies, and will be super happy to to play with them and spoil them ridiculously, and then send them home because that's what we do. Right?
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So, anything else you want to share with the audience, your potential reader, about your book?
Just enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. Number one.
Yeah.
But take the last chapter of your life, which is where I am, and I'm not being morbid here by saying that.
No.
But I'm in a new chapter of my life. I don't want to say the last. I'm in a new chapter. Live it to the fullest, because every day is a gift, and you never know how things can change.
Right.
So live every day
That's true.
as it's your last, and enjoy life and your family, and just be happy.
Be happy.
Be happy.
Well, you know what? Something that I've loved about your story, and we have a little bit of time, so we're just going to dive into it. I won't give away the good stuff, right? But I just want to dive in just a little bit. One of the things I really loved is seeing the different things that at different ages, especially once you became an adult, right? Mm-hmm. Kid stuff is kid stuff, right?
Right.
Kids are just kids. But once you reach an adult point in life and you started doing some really exciting, you did acting, you did modeling.
Yeah, but that's, it's just not, it's all good.
Just fun, this.
Fun thing. I think the most proudest thing I did was marry my husband, my high school sweetheart. He became a vice president of a huge corporation and took me on the journey with him. And I had him for 34 years, and I was blessed, truly, truly blessed.
Yeah.
And, I was excited for him. And after he left, God took him, I should say, not left.
Right.
I had to become Sandy, and that was hard to do.
Right.
Because
you're so young when you guys got married.
Yeah.
Right.
I went from
sweethearts.
My mother to being Mr. C's daughter to being Tom's wife, and now I'm 53 and I'm Sandy, and it's scary. And I would say this to any widow, whether she's 60, 70, whatever her age is. There's no right way or wrong way of doing things. It's your way. And so many people would say to me every day, oh, it's going to get easier. It doesn't get easier. It just gets different.
Right.
And just take one day at a time.
And
that's all I can
build
say.
a new life for yourself.
Right.
Really.
You have to realize you got to like yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that you did even when Tom was still with you, right? From the time that you guys got married and then you moved on and started doing things, you just because of his job,
Right.
you guys got transferred a lot, so you
Right.
lived in different places, but everywhere you went, you just built a new life.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
And we moved 17 times.
17
And we were
times.
not in the service.
Not military.
Not the service.
But 17 times, that's
But I loved
climbing
it.
the corporate ladder.
Yeah,
so to speak.
climbing the
Yeah.
corporate ladder. But I loved it. I met wonderful people. I have friends in California. I have friends in Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Philadelphia. I have a lot of friends. And a lot of people say they have friends, but I have really
Real friends.
Yeah.
Because when you moved someplace
Yeah.
new, you connected.
Right.
Right.
We were
You-
family. We had no family. So
Right.
we were all family. So, yeah.
Right. So you spent holidays together. You raised your kids together.
Absolutely.
You spent a few years there, and then you moved to a new community, and you plugged in again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Found a new church, found new friends,
Yeah.
connected again,
It's
made new family, kind of.
Yeah, and a home isn't a home is four walls. A house is rather four walls. A home is where your husband is and where your
Yeah.
family is.
Yeah.
You don't need big houses. I mean, I could leave a house tomorrow and it wouldn't bother me.
Because you've moved 17 times,
yeah.
right?
And that's why
You're
I became
like, this is old hat.
That's why I became a realtor, because of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because you understood the process
I understood
so
the process
well.
of it, and it's very difficult to do for some people.
Right.
And I thought, well, let me be a realtor.
Right.
I mean, I can do this.
That makes sense.
I can
Perfect
do
sense,
this, so,
actually.
anyway.
And you did that for
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
That's a nice,
Yeah.
long, healthy career. And it's something that you can do anywhere, right?
Anywhere, right.
So
Everywhere I was transferred.
Right.
I got my license, so that was good. But I lived mostly in Florida for those years that I was a realtor.
So you didn't have to get a new license. You just
Yeah, I was mostly
Like,
in Florida, all different.
opened up shop at a new place,
Yeah.
kind of, so to speak.
Right,
What
right.
an exciting career.
Yeah.
Super fun.
I loved being Tom's wife. It was
I can tell by reading your book that you did.
It was. He took me on a journey, and I miss him.
Of course. And how long has it been now?
26 years, November 23rd.
26 years.
And it's funny. Somebody could walk by you, and he comes in your face. Or he'll have a shirt on like Tom, and you go, "Oh my God!" And he just snaps. So, I think I don't care if your husband's dead 2 years or 20 years. It doesn't go away. They're always here in your heart, and you just take one day at a time.
Right, just like everything else that
Yeah.
you did in your life,
Right.
that is all spelled out in this book for people, right? To say, this is what happened, and here's how
Yeah.
I recovered,
Right,
right? Without
right.
saying, here's how I recovered, that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? I moved on.
I moved on.
That was the point. And then this is what happened next in my
Yeah.
world.
And hopefully there'll be another
Right.
thing happening. Another grandchild. Or my granddaughter's getting married in March, and I'm so thrilled. I said, well, I've got that to look forward to. I believe you don't. I have a friend who said something to me once, and she said, oh, why are you doing this, why that? What do you got, 5 or 6 years left?
That's a
And I
terrible
looked
thing
at her
to
and
say.
I looked at her and I said, I don't think that way, because you can die at 50.
Yeah.
You can be ill die at 60. You never know when the winter of your life is.
Right.
So why worry about it? We're all not going to get out of this world alive. So
Yeah,
let's
none of
enjoy
us get out of here alive.
Yeah, just have the day. Let's
Right, so
let's
just
go for today.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, just
and
go for
build
today.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope that that's what people get out of your story.
I hope so.
Although the journey along, my husband read it, and
He did.
yes,
Oh my gosh.
my husband
okay.
read it, and he's like, "Wow."
Really?
Right? Yeah. It was
Oh.
it was emotional.
Okay.
He got emotional. He's not a super emotional guy in general, but because you've had a lot of heartbreak and you've had some loss along the way,
Yeah.
right? And you've overcome a lot of things. So it was emotional for him.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, this lady
Yeah.
has really been through some stuff. And so I think people will feel that way a little bit as they read it. They're like,
Thank you.
But at the end, what they're going to discover is, wow, she really did overcome all of these things and still lived this really amazing, really fulfilling life.
Oh, I've been
right?
truly blessed. I truly have.
You could have stayed in the shadow.
Yeah.
Right? You could have stayed if you had had a different personality.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know that your personality could have, but
it wouldn't happen.
it wouldn't have happened for you,
No.
but for some people with maybe a more mild or meek personality might have gotten stuck and stayed in the shadow. And so this should be an encouragement to those people that you can get out of the shadow. You don't
Yeah.
have to be what your mom, your dad, your whoever said you are.
But you could also take the best of them as well.
Right.
None of us are, we all have faults. you know, and if I look back at my dad, I loved him. I mean, when he died,
course.
you know, I miss him, but he had his way of doing things, and it may not have been the right way as far as I'm concerned, but probably in his heart, or
Right.
he thought he was doing the right thing to do. So all I can say is just, how can I put this? Trust yourself, be proud of yourself, love yourself, and most of all, enjoy life.
Enjoy life. I think something that you do beautifully in your story, in your life, but it's shown in your story, is that you offer grace to others, right? So you
Yeah,
had
I
a
do.
father who really made you feel a certain way, but you know, out of love, you just offered grace. But you did in lots of other ways as well. When you took care of people and you loved people who came into your life. And I still see that in you today. I'm not going to make you cry or
Yeah, I know.
anything, but
Yeah, I don't
right,
do
no
that.
crying allowed on camera. So I won't make you cry, but just even in the 6 month that we spent together in our relationship,
We've cried.
we have cried. But we're not seeing that on camera.
cried.
We have cried, but part of that is just that you have a caring, soft heart, and you have a story that was emotional for you, and so but it was so an honor to be a part of this journey.
Well, it was an honor working with you. Very much so.
Thank you. Super
Very much
fun.
so.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes, so I need to give them an address so that they can be a part of your launch, which is happening this weekend on Saturday. If you are in the Trinity area, we would love to invite you to come out to Heritage Springs Country Club. It's at 11334 Robert Jones Parkway in Trinity, Florida. And you can get a signed copy from the author and help us celebrate the launch of the book. So this is this is one of my very favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Right? Is to be there when people first are facing an audience of people and signing their copies and asking questions and, can I have a picture taken with the author? All those things.
I do want to mention there is a wonderful craft show there as well.
Right, we're at a craft show.
We're at a craft show.
Yeah.
It's arts and crafts, and there are 39 vendors, and they are wonderful. There's things there that are going to be wonderful. So it's not only my book signing, but it's a lot of artists that are going to be there.
Right.
It'll be a wonderful day for everyone.
And that just is a glimpse at who you are as a person that you wanted to give a shit.
Oh, well, it's 11 to 3.
It's 11 to 3.
11 to 3 on October the 8th.
Please come out and visit the craft show, right?
Yes, as
Walk
well.
around, get some early Christmas shopping
Correct.
done maybe, pick up a few things, stop by, even if you already ordered a book online or you'd like to order a book online instead, stop by the booth and say hello to us. I'll be there as well all day.
I'm going to put her to work.
Yes, I'm going to work for her. I'm going to help her with the book sales or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it'll give her an opportunity to sign copies and chat with people and some of those things, which is super fun. It's always a super exciting day. The only more exciting day is the day the books arrive and you get to hold it for the first time,
True.
right? That was the most exciting.
And that was scary with the hurricane.
That was a little scary with the hurricane. We're like sweating bullets because they had to be here before the Saturday event.
They came yesterday.
Right?
They came yesterday.
Please show up for the event, which we've been advertising for a month and a half. Right?
Yes.
Please show up for that. So we are super excited.
Thank you so much.
Super excited. So come out and see us to Saturday. If you're in the area, we'd like to get a copy signed for you. If you're not in the area but you'd like to get a copy, you can go to Amazon and find it on Amazon. Life in the Shadow of Mr. C, Sandra Margaret Smith. You can find it on there and get yourself a copy there. If you would like a signed copy and you're not in the area.
I do have a website. I do have an email.
An email. What email address
It's
would you like them
The
to reach out
Shadow
to?
of Mr. C.
The Shadow of Mr. C. Okay.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Perfect. That way, if somebody wants a signed copy,
Right. I'd be
instead of
willing
buying
to send it to them and ship
Yep.
it to them.
Yep. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so we're out of time, and I have to do my closing spiel. But thank you so much for being here
Thank
with me
you
today.
so much for having me. I appreciate it very, very much.
I appreciate it. I look forward to our book signing this
Yes.
weekend. All right, guys. So let's just wrap this up. Of course, if you have a book in your head and you are looking for someone to help you get that book out of your head, that, of course, is what I do. And I'd love to invite you to be a part of the Savvy Author Mentoring Program. It works because you have somebody, a professional, to help you through the process. So this program will help you get the full blueprint of your book done if you are starting from scratch, or if you already have a manuscript. This is going to help you get it ready to publish, and I'd love to be a part of your journey as well. Currently, the Savvy Author Mentoring Program is closed. We're coming into the fourth quarter of the year, and I am full, but it will open again in the, I want to say late winter, but January. Come January, it'll be open again. If you would like to be on the wait list, go to clararose.com/waitlist, and I promise I'm not going to sell your information, I'm not going to put you on a mailing list, and I'm not going to bother you. This is simply for me to send out, hey, the cart is open, Savvy Author doors are open if you're interested in jumping on board for the new year. If 2023 is your year to get your book out of your head and get it out to the world, hop on the waiting list. You can always drop me a line if you have questions, hello@clararose.com. Happy to answer any questions prior to jumping on the list if you'd like. Or if you are in the process already of publishing and you need some help, I'm happy to answer those questions as well. All right, guys, once again, thank you so much for being here every week and supporting my show. I want to be here to help you become the savvy author that I know that you can be. You need the tips, the tricks, the tools, the techniques. You need the information to make it possible. And that is something that I love to do. So I look forward to sharing more with you next week. Now, next week I do have another special guest, usually not back to back, but next week I have the author of Embolden will be here to talk with us about her book Embolden and the exciting new thing that she is doing in her journey that she has blessed me with the opportunity to be a part of. So I look forward to bringing Amy Debrick back on the show next week to chat about her book, Embolden. All right, I'm out of time, my friends. I will see you next week right here once again. Take care.